So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you the truth on how you can manifest your person and have them chasing you. You don't always need to be the one pursuing. You don't always need to be the one putting all the effort in, doing all of the things to get their attention. You can have them pursue you. In fact, you can have them pursue you to a degree that you think it's actually starting to get annoying. And in this video, that's what I'm going to help you achieve. But before we get into that, to those of you who are new here, howdy, my name is Matthew and I am a manifestation coach. I've helped many people create some amazing things in their lives, including getting their specific people back. So if you'd like some help getting your specific person back, down below in the comment section and the description is the link to my Linktree, where you can find the links to my website, where I offer my coaching solutions. I also have a monthly membership, which is packed full of tons of exclusive videos, free worksheets, free routines, planners, and even a full Manifest Your Ex Back mini guide for as little as £6 per month for the lowest tier or £10 per month for the biggest tier. So if you're interested in that, after you've watched this video, go down in that same Linktree and you will find the links to my membership. If you could drop me a like and a comment on this video just to let me know you like this kind of content going forward, and when you subscribe to the channel, be sure to hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos that will change your life. I look forward to seeing all your lovely comments. Now into this video. I usually start these videos off with a bit of a disclaimer, but today I want to start it off with a bit of a reminder. You are the most powerful being in your reality. The reason why: your reality follows your awareness, what you think, what you feel, what you act upon, what you react upon. Therefore, if you change the way that you think, feel, act, and react, you will change what you experience. Due to that it's all through you, that makes you the most powerful being in your reality. Not me, not your mum, not your best friend. In your reality, you are the king or queen of your experience. Therefore, whether you're in a situation where they're not giving you any attention, you're in a hot and cold situation, they're currently pursuing you, but not as much as you want, you absolutely can and will have them pursuing you to the degree that you want. You'll have them at your feet, absolutely adoring the life out of you. But all you need to do is change your thinking, your feelings, your actions, and reactions. But just remember, even when all feels lost or all feels hopeless, you are the most powerful person in your reality. And therefore, you can decide what you experience and don't experience. But now let's actually get into what being the pursuer / being pursued actually means for your manifestation. Now, I've chosen pursued in this instance because it's a bit of a nicer word than obsessed and attached and all of those kinds of things. Yes, some people may take pursuing to that degree, but for the purposes of this, anything that could be you extending further than you should be, I'm just going to put under the blanket term of pursuing. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a desire. And in fact, you can't have a manifestation come into fruition without a desire. You need to desire something in order for your mind to go, this is what we're going to feed our story of, therefore your subconscious mind creates it from. So wanting something and pursuing something are slightly different. Wanting something is, I would like this thing. Pursuing something is, I'm actively chasing this thing. Now, there is that element of pursuing in a sense of doing the techniques, the affirmations, the visualizations, the scripting. But in that instance, you're not necessarily pursuing, because the actions that you are taking is claiming something to already be your experience. So when I hear people say things such as, well, surely by doing all the work, if I had my desire, I wouldn't be doing it, so why am I doing it now? Absolutely correct. If you had your desire, you definitely wouldn't be doing these techniques. But the aim is to get you thinking from the perspective of having the desire in order for it to come into fruition. That's why we must do these techniques. Now, assuming you're doing the techniques correctly, and by correctly I just mean simply living in the end, allowing it to come to you, you're not actively pursuing, you're just claiming yourself to be experiencing something. Pursuing, obsession, attachment, all of those kinds of things, they come in the form of, I need to push the 3D, or I need to ensure this thing happens. I need to make sure that I don't have any other potential outcome. Now, as a manifester, as the operant power of your reality, you don't have to settle for any other outcome. But going at it as if no other outcome is a potential, that can sometimes be a little bit of a hindrance because that shows the attachment and the outcome dependency. Now, very similar to, like I said a second ago, when people say, if I had it, I wouldn't be affirming. Same thing applies. If you had it, you wouldn't be outcome dependent. So what we need to do essentially is desire something, pursue it in the correct sense, i.e. claiming it's your experience through the techniques, through acting as if, or whatever you choose to do, and then allow it to come into you. Anytime you start looking for it in the 3D, if you start over texting to get their attention, posting things on social media to get a reaction from them, those kinds of things, what you have done is taken yourself out of the state of already having and putting yourself back into your current version of you, the 3D version of you, who doesn't have your experience and is trying to make it work for you. Manifestation is perfect. You get exactly whatever it is that you're dominantly residing in. Therefore, you don't need to force a social media post to get their reaction. You don't need to double, triple, quadruple text them to get their reaction. You don't need to click on their TikTok profile so it shows person viewed your profile so then they message you. If you simply reside in the end result, your manifestation will come into fruition no matter what is in front of you. Your subconscious mind doesn't see obstacles. Your subconscious mind doesn't go, well, they've blocked you, therefore, what can I do? It makes a way. It makes a way even if there isn't a way. If consciously you're looking at it like, well, I'm blocked, they live across the globe, the last thing they said to me was that they hated me, yada, yada, yada. Your subconscious mind doesn't go, yeah, but they did say this and this and this. Your subconscious mind goes, oh, we're in this relationship, I'll make it happen. And being that it has borderline infinite power, nothing is too big for this manifestation to come into fruition, assuming you are feeding the correct story. And how do you feed the correct story? It goes back to the beginning. You desire something because you can't manifest without some kind of desire. People don't want to manifest things that they don't want to experience. So you desire something. You understand what that version of you would be experiencing and then start claiming it to yourself. If it's a relationship, what kind of relationship? Well, you want a loving, passionate one. Start claiming that is your experience. I am in a loving, passionate, and committed relationship. If you prefer visualizations, what would that mean in a visual scene? Maybe a date where they're telling you how much they adore you and how they're so happy to be with you, or something like that. But the aim for this is to create those new stories. You're feeding your subconscious mind this image over and over and over again so it can take that as its current canvas to then paint out here on this reality for you to experience. At no point during any of that do you need to take action. Do you need to pursue? Do you need to remind them you exist? Now, yes, there is obviously debate on whether you can or can't take action. And yes, absolutely you can take action as long as you're coming from the right place when doing so. And that correct place is often outcome independency. So let's say you post a social media post. Instead of posting it to get their attention, post it from the framework of, I'm doing this for me. If they see it, great. If they don't, that's absolutely fine too. By coming at that outcome independency, you're now not trying to insist on something happening. Because when you insist on something happening, you're now claiming that it's not currently happening, which is feeding your subconscious mind that story. At least by being outcome independent, you're neither trying to prove anything is the case or trying to force any kind of story onto your subconscious mind, therefore making it easier for there to be less resistance within that scenario. So desire something, create the understanding or understand the understanding of what it would mean if you had that. How would you think? How would you feel? How would you act and react? And if you want to take that more into techniques, what would you visualize? What would you affirm? What would you script? Act as if, whatever else you want to do. And reside in that internally. If they've left you on red, you don't have to do anything because your subconscious mind doesn't need them to text you back in order to make something happen. Katie and I were in no contact when we got together. I've had no contact with a lot of other people before Katie and I got together that ended up messaging me back. I've had clients, for example, that left me on red when they asked me, about prices and stuff. I didn't then go, hey, did you receive my email? I just lived in the end knowing that they were going to come back. 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 weeks later, they end up coming back. You don't need to take action. You don't need to pursue. And in fact, in some cases, or in most cases, depending on the state you're going at it, it would be better not to. If someone leaves you on red, leave them on red. Just don't bother even looking at the chat. Live in your internal state, because that's what puts the pieces together. If you try to force a new conversation, all that's doing is putting the pieces together of you once again pursuing. And if you're pursuing, that must mean that they are sitting in the space of being pursued, which means for as long as you chase after them, because this universe requires balance, they must be in a position of running away from you. But if you tip that balance, tip the scale, you can now sit in a space of, like, allowing them to come to you. Not necessarily like you have to run away if you don't want to, but you don't have to pursue them. You can just sit back and go, you're coming to me. And because you're no longer in that pursuing position, they must take it for you. If you step back and leave a hole in the middle between you, because this universe requires balance, one of you has to fill it. And if you've taken the conscious effort and stepping to step back, they must fulfill it, because you're feeding your subconscious mind the idea of you are not going to be the pursuer. Therefore, you can step into that position of being the pursued. And by living in the end effectively, you're creating the version of them that will pursue you. So you don't have to do anything. In fact, like I said, it would be more beneficial for you to not do anything. And furthering that, it makes manifestation easier. If you just live in the end, don't worry about what's going on in the 3D. Don't worry that they've left you on red. Don't worry that you're blocked. Remove all of that from your awareness and reside in the end result of it being done. You are literally doing less work, but creating more success. You are doing less, but receiving more. If you found value in this video so far, be sure to drop me a like and a comment just to let me know. I want to make sure that these videos are exactly what you need to have confidence and clarity in your manifestation. If you do need more help on all of your things, down below in that link tree is my website as well as my membership, where I have tons of exclusive videos that will help you with your manifestation, or one-to-one coaching that will also help you with your manifestation. And I've also just released my first ever manifestation ebook, which is down below in that same link tree. So I highly recommend you check that out. Thank you for allowing me some more of your time. Now let's get into the final point, because it is the most important one. Now I understand that all of what I've said on paper is great. Do less to get more, just let them come to you, reside in the end result of it being done. But I know many of you are probably sitting there thinking, but what do I do when I feel triggered? Because let's face it, the majority of us doing the over pursuing are doing it when we're triggered. Not often when we're having an amazing day. It's very rare that when we're having an amazing day and we feel good, that's when we start to do all of the negative workings. So what do we actually do, and how can we benefit your manifestation and your outcome on those moments where something is negative in front of you? Well, the first step is to become aware. With anything manifestation, or even non-manifestation related, if you want change, you need to understand when things are happening that take you down that old path. Whether you're an addict, you need to understand triggers. Whether you're trying to lose weight but you're really struggling, you need to understand what moments or time that it is that you start then going, oh, I could just have an extra donut, or I could just have an extra this. Or if you're wanting to get better at, an instrument, but you're not getting better, you need to look into why you're not improving or why you're not working on it. With anything, there needs to be that awareness. I understand that there will be emotions involved when you're triggered, but the first step is to do your absolute best to become aware that you are triggered, or become aware that you're going down that wrong path. Because we all know that we're triggered. We can all feel ourselves getting all worked up, but we don't actually sort of take that step back and say, okay, I feel this way. This is what I could potentially do with this, and this is what that outcome will be. So the first step, whenever something has happened that makes you want to begin pursuing, whether it's a 3D circumstance that's triggered you, some thoughts that have triggered you, just a state of missing them or something like that, become aware of why and how you feel. Once you know the whys and how you feel, that's half the battle won. The reason being, you now understand the pathway forward. If you go down this route of pursuing, where will this end up? Well, if I do start messaging them more to try and get their attention, since they've already left me on red once, I'm probably going to get left on red again. Is that going to benefit my spiral? No, it won't. What would be better for me? Not messaging at all. Even if I don't feel necessarily great and I have to work through those feelings, by not messaging another time, that will benefit you because you're not creating more things to spiral about. It's very easy to say, oh, it was just a one-off, maybe they're busy, they'll message me later. But if you then go message two or three more times, you now have to justify to yourself why 3 left on reds isn't that bad when you could have just left it at 1. So by gaining an understanding of what you feel and why, that will then help you at least a little bit better understand what you should do going forward. Because you do have a choice. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you are the most powerful being within your reality. Being that you are the most powerful being, that means your decisions come through you. The most powerful being isn't having their decisions made for them. So when you are about to go down that path and over pursue, whether it's mentally with like the negative thinking, physically within whatever you do in the 3D reality, emotionally based on feeling that longing, that missing, or anything like that, stop yourself, become aware, understand why, understand where that will take you if you go down it, and then decide what you would like instead. And by that I mean, let's use the messaging example again. If you know that if you were to pursue them further, you may get left on red more, and that would make you spiral more and therefore create more negatives, what would you rather instead? Well, obviously you would rather them texting you, right? What did I say a minute ago? If you take that step back and leave that hole available, if you're living in the end correctly, they will fill it for you. So if you know that what you want is just a simple text back from them, just a, hey, sorry I was busy, how's your day been, or something like that, open that space up for them to come in. Because remember, if you're pursuing, they must be the pursued. So if you text more and more and more and more, you're going to get left read more and more and more often than not, therefore creating negatives. What's the flip side of that? If you take that step back, open that hole for them, live in the end so that they can fill it correctly, that will then allow them the space to do so, because the balance would have been tipped from you pursuing to becoming the pursued. So all it takes is becoming aware of the scenario, and this works for anything. I've used the texting example just because it's the easiest one that a lot of us tend to have experiences with, but become aware. Then become aware of, if you go down the path your mind is irking you to go, where will that take you? Look at the outcome. Don't look at the immediate release of, oh, I've sent another text, that'll get his attention. Look at the outcome of doing that. What if you didn't get that text? What if he didn't or she didn't respond to you? Where would that take you then? Consider the end result, because that's where we're focusing all of our attention when manifesting, right? Live in the end. So when taking actions, consider the end result of said action. Once you've decided, because let's face it, whenever we're pursuing, often it's not the best thing to do. Once you've understood that that's not the best thing to do, remember your power, remember that you are the most powerful being in your reality, and remember what I said. Outcome, you want just a simple text or a simple hello or a simple whatever. In order for that to come to you, you must leave the space for it to happen. There's a reason the saying, distance makes the heart grow fonder. Yes, it may just be a tale in the 3D, but it's there because it's true. When you leave that space, you're allowing your subconscious mind to get to work without you repainting its canvas with more chasing, more pursuing, more being left on red. So open that space for them, live in the end effectively to give them the pathway to said space, and allow and relax and let them come into that space while sitting in your power as the most powerful being in your reality, who doesn't have to lift a finger to get what they want, because everything will come through you once you paint the correct canvas on your mental canvas, being your subconscious mind. I really hope this video has helped. If it has, drop me a like, comment and subscribe. And if you're interested in that full Manifest Your X-Pac guide, which goes into basically everything that you're going to need to know to manifest your X-Pac, down below in the link tree is a link to my membership. Sign up because it's a great video and I've had tons of great reviews on it. I've also just finished and released my ebook. It's a manifestation ebook of 5 tips on how to become a master manifester and win at life. So I highly recommend you check that out. That's also on that link tree. And if you need more of that immediate feedback and some one-to-one coaching, down below again on that same link tree is the link to my website where you can find my coaching solutions. I know sometimes it may be a little bit of like a, can I afford to pay, X amount of money to have someone help me manifest? I completely understand it, but what you need to be asking yourself really is, can you afford not to? If you've been doing it for so long with no success, what do you have to lose by going to a coach, whether it's me or someone else? But I just want to let you know that I do also have the cheapest prices out there. But, I'm taking the piss. Thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope you have a very good rest of your days, and I really hope to see some lovely comments very shortly after this video of you guys letting me know that you put in the work and your person is now pursuing you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.